Welcome back to our Initiate Guide for Warframe. Today we are going to try to get to the Uranus Junction from Saturn here. That will involve first taking on the assassination target for Saturn, which is Sargus Ruk here. One of the first things that you'll quickly notice, well, some will be faster at it than others, like, not doing this mission for some time, you'll kind of notice that, well, one, you're going to end up with a lot of enemies in this room. I think more so than some of the other boss fights that have occurred in here. Like during, I forget which. Oh, I think it was during the Sarah's Vigil quest where you had to fight a Nox enemy. There weren't as many enemies in that room as there are in this fight, so you kind of have to ignore them, or you have to have someone in your squad take care of all these enemies here, all these minor Grineer, basically. So yeah, the first thing that when it comes to actually taking on Sargus Ruk is that you have to try to get close to him, or at least close enough to where he's using his flamethrower and other attacks, so that he exposes his cooling system. So the first target out of 3 on him is the vents on his left shoulder. So you just want to kind of stay close enough where he keeps using that flamethrower, and once you damage that coolant system enough, it falls off of the shoulder, and then he starts to have to use the coolant system on the front of his torso anyway. So yeah, after dealing with some of the Grineer here, you kind of have to wait for him to do a slam attack and possibly run away instead of getting knocked down, unless you have the mods to deal with that. There are mods to keep yourself from getting knocked off of your feet and all, but yeah. Otherwise, yeah, you just kind of run away from his little ground slam attack, and then keep waiting for him to have his coolant system open up on his front. See, yeah, I don't have those mods yet. As most people around this mastery rank won't. It's just you'll just have to look through your codex or check the wiki for those mods. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, just kind of keep rolling away, stay close, and then back off and shoot him from a distance. Basically, that's my trick of handling him throughout this fight. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, don't be afraid to use your shield too if you're Volt. You deal additional damage through the shield, plus his rocket attack doesn't go through the shield, which is nice. Yeah, and then when it comes to the third section of the fight, once the coolant system on his front torso is done, then you just have to attack. You have to get behind him and attack his back. And then yeah, he does an additional sort of attack where he will have like these flames sprout up from the ground. So kind of keep that in mind when you do that. Anyway, he's done. That's the first run, and we get a part out of it, which is the neuroptics here. So we're gonna keep doing this yet again, so this is gonna be our second run on him, and we did actually get a second person in our squad this time around. Yeah, actually the first run I did it friends only. So that's I did it solo, unintentionally in a sense, but yeah, I do like to at least show how you can solo these assassination missions with like a starting Warframe. So yeah, with this third one, you get the neuroptics again. How nice! I mean, it's 38.72% chance at getting the chassis and the neuroptics on a lot of these planetary assassination missions. So yeah, it's a pretty similar formula all around. So yeah, the chassis, we got that on this run. Then on this next run, he didn't turn around, but oh well. Another chassis, and here, this is the 6th run. I actually managed to get him myself here. Although, you know, obviously it's the squads that I was in, was helping, I was damaging him more times than not. But yeah, or at least I managed to get, some licks on him, while sometimes the other guys would, take him on and whatnot. So yeah, that last one was, we got the systems, which was the uncommon part. So yeah, the next thing that we have to do is open up 3 Meso Void Relics. The first thing you have to do is actually get the relics. So if you don't have 3 yet, you'll have to go, and I would recommend doing Olympus on Mars and doing a few rounds of that. So you can also do missions like Helene on Saturn or Io on Jupiter. Those are good defense missions to get those Meso relics. And once you do that, then you can come and do any Void Fisher relic mission. And yeah, you just try to get the 10 reactants, and then in this particular mission, survival, just you try to get 10 of the reactant within 5 minutes, and then you'll open up your first relic. So in this first relic, I managed to get the Vasto Prime blueprints, which is a vaulted item, so that was pretty nice. Then we'll use a second relic in the same mission. And then, yeah, within the 10-minute span, we get that open. So that's 2 relics opened. And then we'll see what we get here. And actually, when it comes to that 10-minute mark, sometimes it's best to leave your enemies alone and wait until they can become corrupted, so that it's easier to get some of the reactants quicker. More chances at more enemies to drop these reactants, the better. Sometimes these missions are a little stingy when it comes to those reactant drops. So now, within the 15 minutes, we got our 3 relics opened, and I just went for the form of blueprints, which will come in handy a little later. And so yeah, that's 3 relics. We're going to go do the Uranus Junction now. And this fight is going to be against the level 30 Equinox, which for the most part, Equinox is a support Warframe, though it does have some pretty devastating attacks. So, out of Warframes that I would recommend, yeah, Equinox, I would definitely recommend it. And she has a couple loadouts that are really handy for later on in the game, so to speak. Some of those higher level enemies, she can be really useful in taking on. But yeah, so some of, as part of her mainly being a support Warframe, she can be very tanky, as you can kind of see here. Level 30, and I'm pushing the limits of the Mark 1 Paris here. This is probably, this might be the last junction that I actually use the Paris, and maybe even Volt. I'm building Excalibur now. I might do the Neptune one with just him. We'll see. And so yeah, we'll just finish that up there, and we'll now have access to Uranus. And we also got the Chroma and Neuroptics blueprints. So yeah, that'll you'll definitely want to build Chroma too. Go into that a little later. Probably not in this so-called series that I've got. Speaking of which, so the last thing that I want to show is the Master Rank 4 test, and that's going to be the Novice Rank, as it's titled anyway. But how I'm titling the series is Initiate, which Initiate is ranks 1 through 3, Silver's 2, Gold's 3. Initiate. And yeah, as for this mission, it's basically a survival without having to worry about the oxygen pickups and whatnot. You just use whatever weapon. Any energy that you can scrounge, but I don't think that really drops any energy orbs here, so yeah. Just kind of keep killing enemies. But anyway, the point that I was going to make was that I'm going to keep doing this series. I'm going to say that this section of doing all these Warframe missions will probably end with Second Dream. I'll probably consider titling the series Novice after, for the missions after the Second Dream quest. I'm even after getting the rank of Novice, yeah, I'll keep calling it the Initiate series basically, and then we'll move on to all the missions after there, because there's a number of other quests afterwards, and it's kind of just the beginning of progress through Warframe. So alright, with that done, the next video should be on the quest Nata, and getting that quest is a little tricky, so we'll see that in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you there.
This test is now complete. Another job well executed.